It is not hard to be the leader in my household.
No.
It's not.
I want him to lead. Trust and believe. I want him to lead. This man prays more than me. He studies more than me. And you said, well, Casey, you didn't come up to the level. No.
In today's video, we're talking about why I married an older woman.
You did?
I did marry an older woman.
Wow.
It did happen. It did happen. I didn't see it coming. I wasn't expecting it. Wasn't looking for it. We talked in the last video about how you had a list. I never really had a list. Okay, growing up, I liked women. In general. And when I try to look back, though, I will say this: full disclosure. When I did look back, I wondered that it was an inclination that I skewed that way. And I don't think that it necessarily was, but I did realize as I got older and mature in the things of God, I really just didn't like immaturity in general.
Yeah.
And when I was thinking of, the potential of getting married and all that, for one, I didn't think I would get married young. I figured I would be in my 30s when I got married. Like, I probably wasn't going to get married until I was 30. That was my thought process.
God had other
Did not
plans.
happen. I was in my very early 20s when I got married. But that was just my thought process because I just had focus. I had vision and purpose, and I was like, it'll be time for that. But before that, I got to establish some things. And that plan went out the window. I was very much like, I'm going to have a whole lot of money, and I'm going to be well established, and it's going to be, and I just,
Well, let
none
me
of that
tell
happened.
you, he did not have a lot of
did
money,
not.
and he was not well established.
No, it did not go anywhere. My list had more to do with me, and that's the thing. My list had more to do with me, which I think probably is probably a good thing, more than my woman would be able to do this, that, the other. It was about what I needed to have before I decided to take on a wife. And God was just like, nah, you're going to do it now. And, but yeah, I did skew towards, I was not interested in anybody that was just kind of airheaded and just no substance, no opinion, no just kind of no drive or ambition in their life at themselves, because that's who I was. I had drive, I had ambition, so I needed someone to come alongside and have that same thing.
Yeah.
And so once we got together and everything, I mean, we were friends, so our relationship was that was strong and everything. And it wasn't weird for me. I did ask myself that question before we got married. Ask myself, Jalen, are you going to care? You don't care now that she's older than you, but are you ever going to care? Is it ever going to embarrass you? Are you ever going to be concerned about it? Are you concerned about her looking older than you in years to come and all that? And I seriously asked myself those questions personally, privately. And once I got a no on all those questions from myself, then I was like, okay, Jalen, proceed. I had to kind of interview myself.
Unfortunately for you, you married a good black woman. Because good black don't crack.
Oh my God! You talked about, again, I didn't have a lot of preferences. I was like, if you're a breathing woman, I might like you. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you had the whole like height and dark skin. I think I assumed I would marry someone a little bit taller because I come from a taller family. My mom was taller.
Well, sorry to disappoint you, sir.
Not like as tall as me. I'm a little over 6'1", and so I didn't think I would necessarily. I didn't have anything against it, but I figured someone a little bit taller than you because you're about 5'4". I probably figured in the 5'7" range. Didn't work. Didn't happen that way.
No. Sorry.
And again, skin tone and all that really didn't matter. I don't think too much. I will say though, I don't think I imagined I would end up with a darker skinned woman. I don't think I did. Like if I had to guess, I didn't think that I imagined that.
I know
but
why, but I ain't
it
talking
did.
about that.
We both what?
Under the blood. Okay.
But
I will say this, to your credit, if you knew Jalen way back, he always carried himself very mature, everybody assumed he was a lot older than he was.
That helps. Yeah.
He has an older brother, but nobody knew that he was a younger brother. Everybody assumed his older brother was a younger brother just because how they carried themselves. And not that his brother's immature, it's just Jalen was just that guy that was very quiet, kind of deep in a way. He didn't say a whole lot, but when he had something to say,
people listened.
And people would follow him. And then you think later, wait a minute, why are we following this dude? I even found myself in that vortex of Jalen, the Jalen vortex. We were friends and we'd be talking about stuff and we'd just be vibing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I was like, what? Like, why am I listening to you? Like, it was like,
I was that way.
Yeah.
You could ask my parents. I was away from a kid. I was always the youngest of my groups of friends, and maybe that has something to do with it. I always was
You hung
around
out
kids
with older
older
people,
than me.
yeah.
My brother, people that I hung out with were like close to my brother's age, and so I hung out with people older than me. But I was always, I guess back then you would call me bossy. Like somehow or another, I would be
I would say
outside playing
authoritative
games.
is probably
Okay, but you're a kid and you're bossy. When I was a little kid, a group of friends, for some reason I would always get everybody to listen to me and create some new game, and everybody would be playing whatever game I came up with, and my mom would look outside at all of us playing like, why are they listening to him? Like, he's the youngest, like there's no reason for them to be following his lead. But that's just the way it was, and I don't know what that was, what that character trait was or whatever, but I guess it still exists today. And I will say this: I am a man of vision, and I can get people to see what I see. And if you can see what I see, then you're likely to want to follow me into battle
I
to do
did.
whatever it is. So yeah.
I mean, he put a ring on it, so.
So I
You
will
ain't
say
lying.
that I'm not bad at being able to demonstrate what my vision is or where I'm trying to go, and getting you to follow me if you feel like, hey, I want to be a part of that. And that's basically what happened with you. We'll talk more about that probably in the next video. But yeah, that's what it is. So, okay, so now I didn't have any issues. It wasn't a problem for me that Casey was older than me, or, being interested in an older woman. And it's not something that, now that we're married, comes up often. It's not a conversation piece at all, really. And because we mentioned in the previous video that we were both virgins when we got married, we didn't have these extensive dating histories and things like that. A whole lot of partners that we've had before, we experienced a lot of firsts together, So, and even like in just like financial life, like we bought our first house together. We lived on our own together first. You had a car, but we went through the process alone without parents' help buying cars together. So everything we did together. So there was nothing where it felt like, and that probably helped us out a lot, because it was nothing where she had done so much already, had kids or things like that. No, having a baby, that was the first for us together. So everything was our first. It was our first marriage, our first baby, first time having sex, first time buying a house, first time everything. And so we get to experience all those things together, which I think helps people come together and
Yeah,
be
it
tighter and
does.
more intimate, because you're sharing these experiences and sharing these challenges. And again, friendship was just everything. Our friendship was just so strong that we had fun together. We knew we would just enjoy each other's company.
And it wasn't the type of friendship that it was an infatuation type of friendship. Because I used to tell him all the time, so look, I'm not infatuated with you. Like, I don't.
You don't worship the ground
I don't
walk
worship
on.
the ground that you stand on. And that wasn't a demeaning statement. It was just letting him know that though I like you and I love you, I'm not so impressed with you that I just fall for you, and that I can be snowed over.
Like
I
you're
can be
glossed over, like
deceived.
and that was again
Yeah.
goes back to what I was saying about women or girls who would have been like just in awe of my
Yeah.
spirituality and my deepness, my eloquence of speech, and all
Yeah.
of that, and they wouldn't have had anything to bring to the table because they were just enthralled by me, and that wasn't you. Because and part of the reason why you weren't was because you had a good father who was all those things.
Yeah.
You saw in me attributes that you saw demonstrated by your father, and that's why you're interested in me. And so I wasn't able to cast any kind of, I don't use the word spell, but just kind of wool over your eyes to trick you into anything. You could tell it was authentic.
Yeah.
And so you were able to walk into it eyes wide open and say, okay, I choose this.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean I wasn't attracted to him. I was, but it's, my personality, I'm not an easily impressed
Yeah, very
person
much
in
so.
the first place. And anybody that knows me well knows this.
It's surprising that I came with like no money and somehow still got you. Like, that was crazy.
It was God, bro. Straight God,
I had nothing.
God put the wool of my eyes. I'm playing. But no, I'm not an easily impressed person. Anybody that knows me well know that I'm quite critical, to be honest, and I'm okay with that. I believe that has kept me preserved all these years. But I saw something, like I knew something, and it was the Holy Spirit. I take no credit for that, because yes, he did not present to me from an outward standpoint anything that would make me say, yeah, I need to hop in life with this man. He had nothing
Nope.
to start with, So it was a faith journey. It was
Yeah.
me believing completely in God. This is the right direction for me. And I don't suggest, ladies, if you're watching this, that you marry somebody without a house, without money, without those things. I'm not saying you do that. I'm not telling you to do that. So please do not.
Yeah, don't take this as okay, because someone's been watching this like they found this video because they're thinking of
Yeah.
a younger man in their church who approached them, and they're like his lack of substance.
Yeah.
Let me give me time to explain the whole thing. So I'm gonna go both directions first. So don't take what we're saying as okay, that's my sign, that's my confirmation. I'm gonna go all in on this man, even though
The Holy Spirit better be your confirmation.
He don't have a roof over his head. We're gonna live in his car, but Jalen Casey did it, so that means I'm supposed to do it. No. At the same time, someone not having a whole lot because they haven't gotten there yet isn't also evidence that you're supposed to stay away. This is a good time to plug the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide.
Yes.
I was going to do this at the end, but I will do it now. We have a whole series on our channel membership platform called MarriageU. That is our marriage coaching platform that you can join up with by becoming a channel member here on YouTube. And one of the first series up there is the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide. And we actually go in depth on how you're able to identify if you're interested in a younger man.
Yeah.
Because he has so little experience, because he's younger, hasn't gotten there yet, how to still be able to identify with what life he has lived, that pattern of consistency says you can see, okay, this is a man of God, this is a husband, and he is someone that can cover me. So if you're dealing with that, we're not going to have time to go through that because it'll derail the whole video if we talk about that right now. But that is something that you need to be able to evaluate because it's not all about how much money does he have.
Yeah.
Does he have a paid off house? Is he debt free? How many cars he got? That's not what you look in any marriage, not just age gap, but that's not necessarily the benchmark to say whether or not this is going to be a man that you can follow and can lead you and you can submit to. There's more to it than that. But I would say, please go check out MarriageU, subscribe. There's more content up there, but you want to check out the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide if you find yourself in a situation like this. But now get back to our story. Yes, I didn't have much to start with of anything, but I did have a vision, and I communicated that vision to her. And so the communication of the vision, that's what, because again, you had a father who was a man of vision.
Yeah,
and
and one thing that we knew both of us were able to do, and we like to call it rapid development.
Yeah.
We are the kind of people that if we want something and we believe that God is leading us in a direction, we're going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Yep.
So though he didn't come to the table with a whole lot of stuff, and I came to the table with my own issues and situations, so he could have denied me too.
Yeah.
However, we worked the principles of the Word of God, and we jumped leaps and bounds in our development, both spiritually, financially, all those things that mattered to us to a degree by which we didn't stay stuck in one place too long. So we believe in rapid development, and anybody can have rapid development if you're willing to do it. But a lot of people are weak in their constitution. It's not for the weak of heart. And but yeah, that's how we are where we are today because of that rapid development.
Yeah.
But again, just to say, be very, very clear, we're not telling you to marry a man that don't have anything, okay? And I'm not telling you men to marry a psycho just because you see potential and you know, and she's good on the inside, but she's crazy on the outside. Like we're not telling you to do none of that. You need to know for a fact that this is where the Spirit of God is leading you.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen. I think for some guys though, like for people who we talked about like fetishizing age gap relationships in the last video, from the man's perspective, there's the whole thing of an older woman like, okay, she's got more experience, she can teach me things. Or she's in her sexual prime, so it's gonna be, better sex.
I can't teach you nothing.
We both came in with no experience, so everything was brand new experience for us. What was I saying? So that, or older women know what they want, even from a mental perspective. There's a lot of, especially in our generation, men who are annoyed with women their age or younger because they don't seem to be focused on the priorities that they're focused on, whether that's true or not, but they seem to be a little more flighty and just about living life in the world with their girlfriend, stuff like that. And they want, if the man is the kind of settled down person, they want a woman who's already settled down and not looking to do all that. So then they'll say, well, an older woman will respect me, respect my time,
Well, define
take care
settle
of me,
down.
all that
You know,
kind of
there's
stuff.
different levels of settle down.
But,
And
you know.
I don't know if people really understand what they're getting into.
Well, I'm just saying, but those are all the wrong reasons to do that. Again, that comes from having previous relationships that went away you didn't like, and then it's like, okay, to make up for it, I'm going to go the other direction, as if that's going to fix it. But then you run into a whole other set of issues that you may not be expecting, you know. So none of that was it for me. Again, I didn't have a whole lot of relationships, a whole lot of dating relationships before we got married to go off of, to make some kind of basis on. When it was you, and it was us, and that was that. And so we went into it. And now, as we relate to one another in our relationship, it's not something that comes up much at all. There are no any challenges we deal with are just universal marriage challenges and all that.
And if it is an age gap related issue, we don't know that.
Yeah.
To be honest, because we don't get our cue off of what the world has presented.
Yeah.
And kind of to backtrack a little bit, talking about your motivation as to why most men would marry an older woman. I think there's a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
In relationships, and especially age gap relationships, that it's going to be a certain way based off of your observation, maybe from someone else or from Hollywood or books, dramas, whatever. So you assume that that's just how it is. So you come into a relationship with pre-imposed ideas, pre-imposed expectations, and things like that. So when you don't get that, you automatically just tie it to, well, it's because it's an age gap.
Yeah.
When it's not, because you're so focused on the age gap part that you're not focused on the individual that's involved in this situation.
I think the age gap marriages that work are the ones that were not initiated because of that.
Yeah.
They're the ones that kind of surprised the people involved. You know what I'm saying?
It just so happened.
It just so happened it went this way. And you probably are struggling with it. You're dealing with like, okay, is this right? Should I be going this route? What people are going to think? And those are natural reactions when that sort of thing happens. But those are the ones that work, the ones that aren't being chased. You know, we've made videos on this topic before over the years, and every now and then we'll get a comment from somebody that's like, yeah, I only go for younger men. They're so much better, and blah, blah. And it's like, okay, you're clearly someone who just hunts down and dates younger men, or younger men who comment about older women. And it's like, we're not in that culture. That culture exists on YouTube, apparently. That's not where we're coming from. If anything, we're invading this culture to give you the Christian marriage perspective, because we're marriage coaches. And so when this is another aspect of facet of a type of marriage or relationship that you could end up in, and you need guidance just like everybody else in a standard relationship. And thankfully, God's been able to use us to help a lot of people in these scenarios and all that. And so that's what we're here doing. But yeah, I mean, just for me, it never made an issue. I was never concerned about having children. I'm a faith man, so I knew you were older. I didn't know all the statistics of what the age cutoff was, medically speaking, where they say, oh, now it's an issue to get pregnant. I didn't really find that out until we were ready to start conceiving. But I was a man of faith, and we had faith, and God spoke to me a certain thing about our son, and that he was going to, we agreed on his name. We agreed on him being a son. We agreed on the timing and all of that. And so we heard all that from the Lord. We believed it. We spoke it. There's a video we recently released about getting pregnant because you were 38 years old when you had JJ. And so if you want to watch that video for some faith building, go watch that on our channel. But yeah, that wasn't an issue for me. I wasn't concerned about that. I wasn't in a rush I was ready before you to get pregnant, but it wasn't a rush thing. It was just I was ready, and you were still.
Yeah, I think you wanted to be a dad right away. Like again,
well, not right away. But
well,
yeah,
when I
faster.
say dad, well, I'm just saying that you just being so legend.
Legacy.
No, I mean legend. Like legacy, yes, but this is an inside of my husband. My husband, he lives in worlds. He has a world mind. And when I say world mind, you have to know my husband. He's like, he wants to live in outer space. You know, and when I say legend, not that he thinks more highly of himself than he ought to, but he has such a vast imagination and a very vast I'm trying to find the right word to describe you to the world. Because I know people are hanging on to these words, and I want to get it right. So yeah, when you came in, you want to be a family. Like you wanted legacy, you wanted family, you want to create a dynasty. You're so motivated by vision. Okay, so he wants to implement vision like immediately. And again, there was no pressure from you for us to get pregnant. So I didn't feel pressured to get pregnant and things like that because we are faith people. But he was probably more ready to start having kids than I was. I had my own issues, with that.
Yeah.
But we came to an agreement as to when, and we have our son now. Yeah. But I want to ask a question.
Yeah. Please do.
Do you think there are some benefits by being married to me in my age?
Whether or not it might be attributed to age, but we talk about how age is not necessarily a indicator of wisdom. But you are. But I'm just saying.
Can you tell who's the jokester of the family of our relationship?
Yeah. I tend to be more serious. As far as it works, I am a visionary,
yes.
and I am forward thinking and constantly pushing for more, and I sometimes drag her along. So that's probably why this works more so than on average. But to answer your question, yes, I think so, because when you describe yourself, and even, when you describe yourself in your 20s, and where your mind was, that woman I might not have been as interested in, because you weren't as focused and settled on your purpose, who you were, what God had for you, and all of that. Who you were when I decided, oh yes, like, you should be my wife. That woman was very focused and had a sense of purpose and was settled in a certain way. And that happened when you were in like your mid-30s. So in that sense, I would say the benefit could be that you matched my, I don't know what the word, energy, but my focus and my drive, my ambition, so to speak. And that might be because you were a bit older than if it had been maybe 10 years ago. And
for some people, it takes them a little longer to get a little more clarity as to who they are, their direction. It wasn't I didn't have any direction. Okay, you made me sound kind of.
Well, I'm just saying. No. What I'm saying is,
when you feel like I had no.
When you describe yourself in your book, How to Be Single and Happy, and your early 20s, things like that, that's what I'm referring to. But
okay. But yes, I mean, you're right. I feel some people may have a little more focus a little later in life about exactly what they want. Again, I am the jokester of the family. I'm the one that he's serious. I am serious, but not as much as he is. So we bounce each other on that way. So if age is an indicator of like maturity or is not, I'm not immature, but I am sometimes pulling him, making him, let's see, he smiled. Yeah.
But no. We talked about it in your video. Did we talk about sex life in this video?
No, we have not.
I don't think we have.
How is the sexuals?
It's good. No, I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to remember what we said in the last video, and so I'm not just being overly repetitive. But yeah, that one, it's a little tougher to say if that has any impact, the age difference. It's really tough to say if that would be any different. You'd have to tell me, but I do think at this stage in your life, you're more settled and less ashamed of things, so to speak. And one of the things that happens in marriages, and people who get married young and then as they grow through life and become, senior citizen age, things like that, one thing they'll say is when you're younger, you have a lot of care about perceptions or shame and things like that. And so you're not necessarily as free sexually, because if you didn't have a lot of sexual partners, you might be someone who is just like trying to perform or trying to match something based on what society says. But as you get older, you drop all that and it's like, look, this is us. This is who we are. This is what I'm bringing to the table. Take it or leave it kind of thing. And, and so you can enjoy more pleasure when you have less bondage.
Yes.
And I think that the things you went through just internally as you grew and settled in your purpose and your design and your identity and not caring what the world thinks lent to you being someone who could enjoy pleasure more freely than maybe if we got married when you were in your 20s or something like that.
Well, I would not know that because we
Yeah.
did not get married in my 20s, so I can't
Exactly.
compare that.
And it's not like we have any sex partners before
But
that.
I think our sexual freedom or comfortability with one another definitely has grown over the years.
Yes, as it should.
And the more comfortable you are with your partner and yourself, you know, again, you can build the sexual template for your relationship however you want to.
Yeah.
And so I think the longer we're married and the more secure I am, the more secure I am in your perception of me.
Yep.
It's become more free.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and
You're
unashamed.
without being too much TMI. You are
Yeah.
not difficult to please. I'll put it like that.
I mean, that might be that.
I'm gonna say we do not struggle in that department of both parties walking away. Like thumbs up.
Okay.
Leave it at that. Maybe we'll cut that out. We'll see. Anyway, moving on. We talked about having children. Talked about sexuals. We talked about these are all the key points, things like that. It is not hard to be the leader in my household. No. It's not.
I want him to lead. Trust and believe. I want him to lead.
Funny story. We were in church and it was your brother teaching, and he was teaching on the topic of marriage and about men and kind of like indicting men, like you gotta be leader in your household. You gotta be. He was like, it's a loose term, not exactly a technical term, but it's like if there's someone who's more spiritual in the household, husband, it should be you. You should be leading in the spiritual things in your household. And
who is the most spiritual in the house?
Well, that was funny. What I'm saying is, we were sitting on the back row because our son, when he was born and young and everything, we'd be sitting in the back so he don't disturb things. And you said pretty loudly, "Oh, I know my husband's more spiritual than me." And everybody just started laughing. But
I mean, it's a fact. And I mean, listen, people get. I don't care. At the end of the day, if I'm getting the results in my life that I need, I have nothing to prove to nobody. Yeah. My husband is definitely more spiritual than me. And what I mean by that, it's not that he's more spiritual than me, because everybody is spiritual. We're made in the image of God. He is spirit. We are spirit. If you're born again, you have all the faith that you're going to have for the rest of your life, okay? I have a connection with God. God can talk to me, whatever. But I'm talking about, like, this man prays more than me. He studies more than me. And you said, well, Casey, you need to come up to this level. No. No, I don't. You know, I am, and does it make me immature? It's just that I had nothing to prove. My relationship with God is my relationship with God. And if God needs to talk to me and touch me, he will. I don't strive with that. And y'all have to know background. I used to strive a lot with that. I used to struggle so hard trying to have this super spiritual, because I see people and how they would pray and it seemed so fervent and whatever, and I just didn't have that. And I struggled so hard with that because that to me denoted, oh, you close with God. When I realized that for a lot of people it was just a bunch of noise. But anyway, my husband is more spiritual than me. He and that's okay, because I know that God deals with him in a very unique way that is beneficial for our family. He's the husband, he's the head, he covers, and God has to speak to him a certain way. And God's not going to speak to me the same way. It doesn't mean God does not speak to me, but it's different and from a different purview. And that's how it's supposed to be. Yep. And so I'm okay with that. I don't fight for that. He gets up early in the morning, or he want to spend so many hours. Like, okay, look, do your thing, because so far we're doing good. We are doing good. Do you see me? Do you see me struggling? Because the man prays. And so if there was a contest as to who is more spiritual, my husband would win, and I'll be rooting him on. Yes, baby, be spiritual. Yes, lead us. So I am not fighting for that position at all.
No, it's not difficult to lead my household. It's not difficult. We don't fight over those things. Like, it's funny.
I am a passenger princess.
When we release videos, we've been on YouTube for years.
Yes.
So we release videos, and people just love to try to figure out, especially when you bring in the age gap stuff, try to figure out your dynamic. Like, they won't listen to what you say. They're trying to look at facial expressions, things like that. So there have been times where I'm saying something pretty profound, like a short, a YouTube short that we release, and they're like, oh, she looked like she annoyed by what he's saying. And I'm like, and I want to call him back, but it's a waste of time. I'm like, no, she doesn't know about what I'm saying. That clip was from 4 years ago when she was very pregnant and was tired of sitting on that couch and was ready to turn the camera off. It had nothing to do with me. You were just uncomfortable because that baby was ready to come out. Or, so, but one thing people that will pay attention to, we've had both criticisms. We've had criticisms where people didn't like the fact that I talk too much in our videos and they give you time to talk. And then we got criticism of people saying you talk too much and they give me time to talk. And I'm like, okay, if the two people commenting on either videos could come and swap videos, you would see we do it to each other all the time. It just depends on the topic. We cut each other off. We talk more than the other. We talk too much. We do it all the time. But none of that is indicative of who we are actually to each other. We know each other. So none of that, if people try to like figure that stuff out. In our household, we know our roles, and we're not ashamed of the word roles. We're not ashamed of the word submission. We're not ashamed of any of that. We know exactly how to do this household. I'm the leader. I'm the man.
Most
I'm the
of the people that got a lot to say ain't got one of these.
Well, that's you.
Okay, a lot of people got a lot to say.
Okay, keep one of those.
Or can't keep one of these. A lot of people got a lot to say. They ain't happy. Yeah. They got some complaints, some problems, whatever. That's not me. And baby, if that ain't you, okay. But don't come over here trying to talk about my good thing. Like, I'm okay. I know, again, I had nothing to prove to anybody. I had nothing to prove to anyone. Okay? I know that God put us together. I know we called us to do. And age gap doesn't matter. It don't dictate us.
It wasn't a itch for me because apparently, again, as a kid, I was bossing around kids older than me back then anyway. So age has never prevented me from being able to lead somebody. As an employer, I think I've only ever had employees older than me because I was just always so young doing everything I've done. So I've run a department in church, and most of the people are technically older than me, and all that. And I don't think about it. I don't even take it as a badge to say that, oh, I'm somebody special because I'm so young accomplishing these things. Like, I am very mission focused.
It just makes sense that if the person with a good idea can get things done, then you follow that person.
Exactly.
Like, and when it comes to our dynamic, we're secure in who we are.
Yeah.
That we don't strive against one another. It's not a try to prove who's better, who's stronger, who's more wise, who have all the good ideas. It don't matter because we're a team, and we work very well together as a team. And what benefits me benefits him, and vice versa.
And I would say this to any woman: if you're interested in a younger man, make sure he has leadership qualities.
Exactly.
I'll say that in any man, but you definitely want to see that at play. It ain't just about the physical. It ain't just about the way he looks. It's definitely not about sexual prowess. Because if it's a thing of he's younger, so biologically speaking, he could perform better, that will last for a limited amount of time. Yeah. At some point, he is going to age, and so that won't last forever. So let you plan on dumping him. Maybe that's what people are doing. They're grabbing him, dumping him,
and we live in a world with so many.
I don't know.
And we live in a world with so many dysfunctions.
Yeah.
I mean.
True. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, yeah. Maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that was a thing. But nowadays, everybody's dealing with stuff.
You better know the word for yourself. You better know Jesus is the healer, girl. Come on now.
Yeah. So never mind that. Yeah, scratch that. That doesn't matter anymore. That stuff starts early for some folks. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. That's the story. That's who we are. I married an older woman, and I'm enjoying it. Not because she's older, because she's my wife, and I love her. And you mentioned your preferences and how you had this list of like he was going to be darker skinned.
Well, you already said
I didn't have that.
He like women.
Yeah, I'm like that. But same thing as you mentioned about having eyes for me. I have eyes for you. I love my wife. So it's not like, oh, you like older women. I don't know. I like my wife. I love my wife.
Yeah.
I love her. Do you like? And that's something I realized for a lot of men. It's like, and this is just general free tip just throwing out there. Maybe I'll cut it out because it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But a lot of women are concerned about their men, like your body changes, you have children, stuff like that. And it's like, I can't speak for men who are just trash, who don't actually love their wives. For men that love their wives, it's like, well, I'm sure you prefer this kind of body. She's skinny, you got this kind of bust, this kind of backside. And it's like, yeah, men sometimes have preferences and they have their ideal, whatever. But men who love their wives, we love you. We love your body. It's not that, oh, we love your body. That's what we want. We want the body that's in the bed next to us. We want the body that we get to see naked every day. We want the body that is willing to yield to us. Let me put it that way. That's the one we love. We love what is made themselves available for us. That's what we love. So
Well,
yeah,
that's
I love my wife.
because I'm your body. You know, and you should not hate your body. And if you hate your body, you got a problem.
Yeah, suicidal.
You know, yeah. So.
All right, yeah, that covers it. So check out MarriageU so you can subscribe and get access to the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide. It'll be very helpful to you. And come back next week for another video about this topic. Love you guys. See
Make
you
sure
next
you
week. Oh, sorry, subscribe.
subscribe.
Hit the notification bell
Yes.
so that you can be notified when that video actually comes out, because YouTube will not let you know and you'll
will
just
not.
lose us. We're Jalen and Casey. We are saving marriages.
One story at a time.
Love you guys. See you next time.